let's go to Central Park. And with us today is Christina Hansen, taking care of the carriages in Central Park. And can you give us an update where you are? Because I don't hear good things. I understand the city council is not with you. I understand the mayor's not with you. Is there any hope? What the heck is going on?
Well, we are kind of wondering what the heck is going on, because the carriage horses, of course, are very well taken care of. Nothing about that has changed. And we had a hearing yesterday, but it took almost 3 hours for any of the carriage people or the TWU folks to even get to testify before the committee. And a lot of the committee left before the carriage drivers could share their stories about what they would lose with this bill. And so council people were signing on before the hearing was even done. Of course, the speaker came out the day before and said that she supports this wholeheartedly. So we are wondering what in the world is going on here. Because just factually, the only thing that's really changed recently is, we did have this tragic accident, but it's the first one ever. And as Councilmember De La Rosa said, look, we've had a helicopter accident where a whole family of tourists was sadly and tragically killed, and we didn't ban helicopters. We didn't rush out to do something. There seems to be a lot of stuff going on here that has nothing to do with safety, and it has nothing to do with the care of the horses.
Governor Patterson, you'll be in the studio with us. Tell us what you feel. I mean, I love those horses in Central Park.
Well, I've lived in New York myself for 50 years, and I think I can't count the number of times that visitors came to see me, and in addition to the restaurants and the theater and that kind of thing, one of the connections to that is going to Central Park and riding in the horse carriage. And in those days, I never even thought it was possible for there to be an accident like that. So I was not really sure how I feel about this. Christina, maybe you could enhance my understanding. You did say that there hadn't been any accidents of this site of this kind in a long time, right?
Right. Well, in any kind of sort of collective memory of the Central Park carriages that give rides to tourists in Central Park, we've never had a fatality. So going back well before World War II, maybe somebody got into a carriage accident in the park in the 1880s when there were lots of private carriages, in the same way that people might have car accidents or bicycle accidents or e-bike accidents back then. I mean, obviously no e-bikes then, but I mean, in terms of maybe there was an accident then, but in terms of a tourist in a carriage in Central Park, it's never happened until, a month ago.
And in that respect, so what you're really saying is that what happened a month ago, as tragic as it was an outlier. It was
absolutely.
No, go ahead.
Absolutely an outlier. I said absolutely an outlier, but these various special interest groups, and there's a lot of money behind it, whether it's the animal rights people who, no matter what we do, think that you shouldn't have horses anywhere in the city. A lot of the testimony yesterday was saying horses don't belong in cities, even though horses built cities, and even though the city of New York employs police horses to patrol Times Square, Madison Square Garden, lead the Knicks parade. There was no discussion about that, but lots of discussion about how horses just don't belong in modern cities. They just don't belong here anymore.
Well, I understand some real estate guys. I've heard before that some real estate guys really want your property to build new kinds of property. So, is this a real estate ploy? Have they taken care of the politicians that be to make sure that you get rid of the bonds on 11th Avenue?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was what got Bill de Blasio involved, 12 years ago when he became mayor, was the stables on the west side of 37th and 38th Street. There's zoned for 70 stories there, mixed-use luxury high-rises. And since that time, they've actually demolished the buildings between it, but those empty lots really can't be built on so long as there are horses there. So there's lots of real estate interest in getting rid of the carriage horses, because that property there, which soon will be right on the Hudson Boulevard Park that they're building over the Amtrak lines.
And I also hear that there's some people that want to create electric cars to be in Central Park.
Yeah, there's a whole discussion about electric carriages. There was a discussion about electric cars. Now they moved to electric carriages, which is just a.
Now, what's the name of the company what's the name of the company that's supposedly making big donations in Albany and the city?
Well, in the city, I mean, there's the organization NICLAS makes lots of donations, but there's also a gentleman named Josh Fox who's given donations and met with Randy Mastro last year about electric carriages or some sort of replacement for the carriage horses. Of course, there's people that donate to the Conservancy. We don't even know who they are because the Conservancy, being a 501c3, doesn't have to disclose its donors. But after 168 years of the park being designed for horse carriages, came out and said, we're against carriages. We don't want horses in our park anymore.
Well, why don't you get somebody to do an investigation how many donations that these people made? And then we could turn you could turn it over to the U.S. Attorney to do something about it.
Yeah, we're certainly working all these angles because there's something definitely amiss with what's going on with the Conservancy.
Well,
and of course, I mean, the proliferation of e-bikes and the speed and the various delivery services that race through Central Park, it's alienation of public parkland. Through Amazon cargo bike deliveries is not a park use, and they've basically taken over the carriage drives. That space is now all for e-deliveries, and people can't even cross the carriage drives. They can't use the carriage drives for even recreational bike rides.
Understood.
They can't. Yeah,
now we're out of time. Governor, we'll look into it together.
We will
find out where the donations are going, who's making the donations, and Christina Hansen. Let's hope that the common sense prevails. Otherwise, we'll turn it over to the powers that be that will do the investigations.
It's 122 years ago. It deserves being looked at some more.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Christina Hansen, and you're with the TWU, Transport Workers Union, and you're the shop steward, and let's pray you save those jobs and save those horses.
Absolutely. We got to keep going in Central Park. It's the heart of the city.